Welcome to one of the most anticipated fighting game crossovers. No, Namco x Capcom doesn't count because that wasn't a fighting game. Alright, so here's the story. Shadowloo and the Mishimas are after the Pandora's box and all the great powers that it may possess. Long story short, your basic plot to bring these two unlikely series together. Just like every plotline with no real substance, the root of all is Pandora's box. For the most part, the presentation of Street Fighter Cross Tekken feels almost exactly the same as Street Fighter 4. Basically meaning it feels like it was built on an arcade infrastructure, practically the same UI. The fighting menus are too layered and for the most part unnecessary. Don't get me wrong, some changes were made for the better. For example, allowing players to change their buttons before a match, and this is a godsend to most tournament organizers. The feature that is most affected by this layered menu system is the gem system. The gems being such a huge part of the game, it would have been nice to see some quick menus to make gem changing a bit easier. For example, having the ability to customize gems from the match screen. Exiting out and going to the gem selection screen can be a problem, especially since you have to edit each character individually. It would have made sense to have a standard loadout and to use across all characters and not force players to play at a disadvantage, because right out the box your character is only equipped with 2 gems, which can be a problem. Capcom needs to add a bit more pizzazz to what I already consider a solid package. Beyond the already hard to grasp cross tags, cross cancels, cross rush, and cross everythings, you add a light RPG metagame. The gems offer some slight attribute boosts and some unique activation requirements. Please check out our Talking Gems with Matt, Capcom's own supervising marketing director, to hear more about gems. Some of the bigger changes with the title is that it uses a Tekken tag based life and tag system. Only one of the fighters has to die before losing the round. Tekken juggle system is here as well, for the most part, which offers some entertaining things including bounce and even wall bounces. This is what is going to keep the game competitive at a high level. Simple chain combos are rewarding, but for the most part, taking advantage of the systems will actually help the dedicated. For those few out there who think this title is going to be a mash fest or too easy, this title has some of the most strict link timing I've ever seen, so don't worry about chain combos ruining it all. Keep in mind that 2-frame link low forward you add in the combo will make the difference at the top level play. This, in addition to Pandora mode, will help keep this title competitive. I can't wait to see what the community has in store. The one thing that the DIMPS dev house always gets right is the fighting engine. The game engine seems to be a heavily modified version of the Street Fighter 4 framework. A recommendation I give to both top players and newbies is get the notion out of your head that this is an upgraded version of Street Fighter 4. It isn't, and you will instantly start having more fun once you get into the chain combos and all the cross canceling. It is a whole new beast, and it's pretty good at what it does. The game has a ton of new modes. The few that are noteworthy surround its multiplayer functionality. The game allows for some 2-on-2 action both in off and online environments. Please note that 360 users, you cannot go on live with 2 of the friends on a local Xbox. It sucks, but the PS3 version can. This is where the title shines the most. I believe the intricate tag system, where your partner must pay attention to tagging at key moments during some combos, will add some depth, and who knows, maybe we'll see at some of the bigger tournaments. I really like the 2-on-2 feature. Besides that, there is a scramble mode where all the fighters are at screen at once. It's good for a few laughs, that's about it. Remember folks, this is a new game and Capcom did a great job adapting these Tekken fighters to our beloved 2D engine. Don't get me wrong, these characters have lost a lot of their moves, but integral parts of the characters still remain. Tekken versions of the characters you know and love still have their favorite 1-2-1 strings and work the same way for the most part. Kazuya still has a safe electric wing god fist, but it is a mid or an overhead, as we all know that a fast comboable safe overhead would be too strong in a game which rewards blocking so much. One thing I did notice about the Tekken cast was that they felt generally the same, basically meaning their whole game plan was to get counter hits and try to hit you with their safe pressure and special strings. Hopefully as the game progresses this will change. I think it will. We'll probably see the individuality in all the characters by then. Street Fighter Cross Tekken supports a new rollback technology similar to GGPO. This ultimately means smoother gameplay, but this does come at a cost. Basically meaning there is wonky sound. You can actually check out this video. Basically, any player who depends on audio cues and such will be annoyed. As a player who has put quite a few hours into fighting games, I look for visual cues rather than sound to make my decisions. I personally rather have smoother gameplay, but at the expense of sound, it is a hard bargain. In general, the new online briefing room is an incredible addition, but not being able to rematch after a match and sound issues are holding the online back a lot. This has to be one of the most ambitious titles in recent history, and I can only say it delivers for the most part. Capcom has successfully combined two genres of fighters and hopefully invited a new community of gamers into our 2D world. The game in its current form is still worth the asking price, and I know there has been images floating around of potential new characters. All I can say is if Capcom learns from their mistakes and prices the potential DLC correctly, then bring it on. Because we all know what will happen if we start spending $10 for a custom color palette for a character. I think we should believe in Capcom on this point, and honestly, the game is complete as it is. Now for the group's breakdown. Kev gave it a 4 out of 5. Amazing game, but why didn't they flesh out the gems? I honestly agree with him on that point. Andre gave it a 4.5, said this is finally the game that merges the both casual and hardcore fighting game audiences. Chris G gave it 4.25. He says innovative, competitive, and fun, but dial-up combo and time overs really suck. Finally, my score, I give it a 4.5. The game is ultimately an amazing fighting game with a few kinks which hopefully will be ironed out, including the time over issue and the online problems. Playing as Tekken characters in SF is still surreal. It's the only way you can do it, and I honestly think it's an amazing game. It's well worth the money. Thank you for taking the time and watching this review. FingerCramp out.